In this video, we're going to look at simultaneous equations, looking at the application questions. Let's take an example. A shop sells counters. If 5 red counters and 6 yellow counters cost 98p, while 3 red counters and 4 yellow counters cost 62p. Find the cost of a red counter and a yellow counter. So what we're going to do this by a simultaneous equation. So we're going to call the red counter x, and we're going to call the yellow counter y. So we're going to form a simultaneous equation here. So we've got 5 red counters, that would be 5 lots of x, and we have 6 yellow counters, that would be 6y, and that will be equal to 98. Then we have 3 red counters, so that's going to be 3x, and we have 4 yellow counters, which would be 4y. Now that will be equal to 62. So now what we can do is make the y's the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to times the top by 4 and times the bottom one by 6. So now if we do that, we're now going to get the following. 4 times 5 is 20, so we get 20x, and 6 times 4 is 24y. Then we're going to do 98 times 4, that's going to give me 32, carry the 3, 9 times 4 is 36, plus the 3 will give me 39, and then that will give me 392. Then I'm going to multiply 3x times 6, which is 18x, plus 24y, and then we're going to do 62 times 6, so that will give me 12, and carry the 1, so 6 times 6 is 36, plus the 1 is 372, so that's going to be equal to 372, and we've got 24y, so we had the same number in front of y, and we got the same sign, which is a plus and a plus, so we know we have to minus both equations. So that's going to be 20x minus 18x, which is 2x. The 24y, both of them get cancelled out, and we get 20. So we divide both sides by 2, so we end up with x equals to 10. So now we're going to substitute 10 into, doesn't matter which equation, I'm going to use the first one. So we're going to say 5 times 10 plus 6y equals to 98. So that gives me 50 plus 6y equals to 98. And then that's going to give me 6y equals to 98 minus 50, because I'm minus 50 on both sides here, and that's going to give me 6y equals to 48, divide by 6 on both sides, and then that will give me y equals to 8. So I get x equals 10 and y equals to 8. So here's the question. Try the question, pause the video, and then you can watch my work solution. Welcome back. So here we go. Let's have a look at this question. Alex and Ben go to a cafe with some friends. Alex buys 4 cups of coffee and 3 cups of tea. He pays a total of £6.95. Ben buys 5 cups of coffee and 2 cups of tea. He pays a total of £7.20. Work out the cost of each cup of coffee and the cost of each cup of tea. So now let's set up some letters. So we're going to call the cups of coffee x, and we're going to call the cups of tea y. So we can say that 4x plus 3y is equal to 695. And then likewise 5 cups of coffee and 2 cups of tea, so we end up with 5x plus 2y equals to 720. Now, I'm going to ignore the decimal point to make my calculation easier here. So, again, we need to make the y values the same. So I'm going to times this by 2. Now I'm going to times this equation by 3. Now, what do we get? We get 4x times 2 gives me 8x. Then I get 3y times 2 will give me 6y. And then we're going to double 695. So we do 695 times by 2. 5 times 2 gives me 10. And then we get 9 times 2 is 18. Plus the 1 gives me 19. And then 6 times 2 is 12. Plus the 1 is going to give me 13. And that's going to give me 1,390. And then now for the second equation, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to do 5 times 3 is 15, so I get 15x here, plus 3 times 2y is 6y, and then we're going to multiply 720 by 3, and that's going to give me a 0, that's going to give me 6, and that's going to give me 21, so I get 2,160. So again, we've got the same number in front of y, which is 6y and 6y, the same sign in this case, so we get two pluses, so we minus both equations. So we're going to put a big minus sign here, and we're going to subtract them. So 8x take away 15x is minus 7x. The y's will cancel out, and then we're going to do 2160 minus 1,390. So we get 0 here. Borrow 1 from the 2, so we get a 1, that gives me 11, that gives me 10, and I get 1 here. And then I get 16 take away 9 gives me 7, 10 take away 3 is 7, so I get 770. So I get 770, but remember it's a minus 770 because we're doing 1,390 minus 2,160, so we get minus 770 there. Now, the two minus signs will cancel out, so we get 7x equals 770. Then we can divide by 7 on both sides, and that will give me that x is 110. So in terms of pounds, that's going to be £1 and 10 pence. Now, we need to find out what y is, so we're going to say that I'm going to choose the first equation, so we get 4 times 110 plus 3y equals 695. So we can get 440 plus 3y equals 695. And then we're going to minus 440 on both sides of the equation. So that's going to give me 695 minus 440. So I get 5, that gives me a 5 again, and that gives me a 2, so I get 255. So I get 3y equals 255, and we divide by 3 on both sides of the equation, and that should give me the corresponding for y. So I'm going to say 3 divided by 255. So we know that how many 3 is going to 25? Well, that's going to be 8, because that's 24. Carry the 1. And then I get how many 3 is going to 15? That's going to be 5. So I get 85. So that's in 85p. So that's got to be 85p here. And that's it. And we are done.